Oh, hold on. Sorry. Pause Expedition 33 for a second. I've just seen something about Infinity Nikki, that has captured my interest. Pause. Yeah, we gotta pause because, yeah, how can I get this up to show you? They've, let me go to chatting for a sec. It's Nikki News Hour. It's Nikki News Hour. We're pausing, you know, let me put it on some music. Because I was literally playing Infinity Nikki yesterday and I was explaining how there's still issues with the game and the devs have been silent about it, right? Yeah. Nikki News Hour. Maybe this isn't a good song to put on. I love it though. Let me see if I can find a way to, like, I don't know if it's on the website. I can get it up. I haven't read it. But it seems like they've come out with another apology. Let me see if it's on the official website. I hope it is. I hope it's not just on Discord, because I don't want to stream my Discord, you know? News. Yeah, here we go. So I can... Okay. I'll put on a different song. No. Do I have something that doesn't have vocals on it? 1 hour Infinity Nikki music to study / relax? Sure, whatever. Okay, pausing Clair Obscure for a little bit because we've just got breaking news for Infinity Nikki. I want to read this. Okay, what does it say? Version 1.5 end date extension notice. First and foremost, we sincerely thank you for your unwavering support and love for Infinity Nikki. Since the launch of version 1.5, insufficient preparation during pre-release testing led to unexpected live issues, resulting in an unstable game environment and unsatisfactory content. We fully acknowledge that this is our responsibility, and addressing these shortcomings remains a top priority for our team moving forward. Okay, so yeah, like I was saying, I was playing Infinity Nikki yesterday, and I was explaining how, yeah, the issues are still not solved, and I'm really concerned. I'm really concerned that if they keep going the direction they're going, you know, because people have been dropping the game and leaving bad reviews on Steam, right? And maybe it'll be the end of Infinity Nikki. I don't want that. I want the game to bounce back from this issue, so we'll see, yeah. Additionally, we encountered technical challenges during development that require more time to resolve thoroughly. Following rigorous assessment, we decided to extend version 1.5's end date to ensure greater stability and prevent similar issues from recurring. Nikki is currently on life support. Yeah. See, I think something I said about this update was I want them to roll it back. I want them to go back to Revelry season, and we'll wait a couple more weeks for, you know, the next update. So I am completely fine with them, you know, instead of doing that, I think it's too late. It's too late to roll it back now. It's been a couple weeks, right? But I'm completely fine with them extending version 1.5. I know something I've seen people complain about is, despite them saying they want to address the filler, after like 10 days after an update, you've done all the events and there's still nothing to do in the game. I do think that's an issue. And I know that extending this update is going to mean, yeah, there's even more days where there's nothing to do. But I think it's a good thing if it means that they can smooth out the problems they're having and bring the game back to the standard we want it to be at, you know? We're acutely aware that these recent issues have impacted your experience and damaged the trust and affection you've placed in us. To all stylists, we offer our deepest apologies. Through this notice, we aim to clarify the delay arrangements, compensation plan, and key optimization priorities. Yeah, so I think that's really good. I want transparency, you know? I think it's been frustrating waiting and just, you know, I think that's the sentiment I've seen all over Reddit and stuff is, you know, how does Infold keep doing stuff like, you know, they launched merch for the game, right? And I'm sure that was in the process of, you know, coming out before all this shit happened, but it's just bad timing. It's a bad look for them to come out and be like, buy stuff from us when they haven't fixed the game. So I'm really glad that they're coming out with transparency. I wasn't expecting it, and I think it's a good thing. Okay, version 1.5 extension and adjusted event schedules. Due to version scheduling adjustments, version 1.5 bubble season will be extended until June 12th. Details are as follows. Version 1.5 end date June 12th, version 1.6 launch date also June 12th. Yep, okay, makes sense. Version 1.5 events. The end date of the following bubble season events is extended to June 12th. That's good. I like that. Like, you know, I guess technically they didn't have to do that, but I think it's a good thing that they've also extended the events. So yeah, if you're someone who hasn't finished them yet, if you've stopped playing the game because you're disappointed in this update, or if you haven't started the game because you're, you know, worried about how buggy everyone's saying it is, it's good for them to extend the events for those people. So you can get in and you can still do the events with the extra time. Version 1.5 store, the end date of PayPal selected store clothing extended. So all the cash shop items are also they're being extended to this new end date too. That's fine. That's fine. Other version 1.5 adjustments. The end date of version 1.5 Mirror Journey, so that's like this game's battle pass, is extended. Limited time islands will be removed June 12th. Yeah, okay. It's all being extended till June 12th. Weekly task Starlit Pursuit delay notice. After version 1.5 launch, we received extensive feedback on co-op features and gameplay. Based on this, we are optimizing related systems, and the new weekly task Starlit Pursuit, originally scheduled for May 20th, will now debut in version 1.6. This delay allows us to refine task mechanics for a smoother experience. Additional details will be announced at a later date. Please stay tuned. I think that's good. What was Starlit Pursuit going to be? Let me just I won't I won't search it on this same window. I'll search it on another window. And we'll see what it was going to be. If I just Starlit Pursuit, then it doesn't come up with anything, does it? I'm just gonna say it's Infinity Nikki. Okay, Starlit Pursuit is a recurring weekly event where stylists can complete co-op tasks with friends, accumulate points to claim celestial besses in exchange for them. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense to me. It was meant to come out May 20th, but yeah, I think a lot of people are like not doing the co-op because it's a mess, right? So I think it makes perfect sense for them to delay the co-op platforming thing that we saw in the trailers. In light of this change, 360 Starlit Crystals will be given to all players as compensation. We extend our heartfelt gratitude to every stylist for your understanding and continued support. That's good. That's good. You know, I imagine those are the crystals that we would have gotten from doing this event. So I'm totally fine with them. You know, especially because it says they're not getting rid of it, they're not canceling it, they're just delaying it. So that's good. Throughout the development journey since launch, we have faced a multitude of challenges and uncertainties, from optimizing performance across diverse devices with varying capabilities to tackling unexpected technical roadblocks. Many of these hurdles were unprecedented for our team. Rather than offering premature communication, we chose to tackle these problems methodically, responding to your expectations only once we secured concrete solutions. So, yeah, that is fair. Like I said, it has been frustrating for us just being in the dark. Us players is what I mean. It's been frustrating for us being in the dark, but, you know, they have been working on it, right? I think a lot of us were concerned, and I think for good reason, you know? Like they've admitted in this post themselves, they broke trust with the audience. So we weren't sure if they were working on it or if they were, you know, just hoping that it goes away. Like just hoping that if they fix all the bugs, that, you know, it'll be fine. But it sounds like they have listened to it, you know, and they are going to work on it, which is a relief, honestly. Because like I said, I wasn't sure. And I think a lot of people were in the same boat. Rest assured, we've heard your feedback loud and clear. The Threads of Reunion storyline's absence in this version was never intended as a removal from Infinity Nikki's narrative. its associated outfit remain on our development roadmap. Due to technical hurdles in version 1.5, we were unable to properly refine the introduction of the Sea of Stars chapter and the narrative setup for Threads of Reunion, which regrettably led to confusion. These elements are planned for future updates. Plans are underway to expand tiered cumulative top-up rewards in upcoming versions. New gameplay systems will undergo rigorous design scrutiny to ensure seamless integration into the open-world experience and lore consistency. On top of that, adaptation, performance, and stability issues across various platforms, including PlayStation, have been identified are being resolved systematically. Okay, so my interpretation of this, right, is yeah, they really wanted to do Sea of Stars. I think they really wanted to make it so new beginning of the game, you're in the Sea of Stars, because that's an iconic Nikki thing. Not the area exactly, but the dress, you know. They really wanted to introduce that, and so I feel like they were working on that. They were developing it, and you know, the speculation, a lot of people have been speculating, like, they pushed it out early, right? They pushed it out early, but they hadn't actually, tied the pieces together, you know? They'd written one part of the story, but they hadn't figured out how to make it work with the story that was already there. And so the way they did it, yeah, like you said, it caused confusion. I think I've seen a lot of people talking about the update because, you know, I made my video about the story and what I thought happened and why I didn't like it. I've seen other people's, you know, videos about the story as well, and I think a lot of people are confused. They're confused, like what has been changed, what has been retconned. I think there was a retcon, but I've had people in my comments and I've seen other people talk about it. They don't think there's a retcon. They just think, you know, this has always been part of the story. I don't know. It's confusing, and I don't think it's a good thing that it's confusing, is, you know, is something we can maybe all agree on, right? So, yeah. And yeah, the Threads of Reunion, it was taken out of the beginning of the game for new players. So I feel like that is a retcon, because it's like, if it's not in the game for new players, then it means it's not important. You know, it would be weird for a story to only make sense if you played it day one, right? It would be weird for a story to only make sense if you played it before this update. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see how it goes with them fixing the narrative and the lore, because I don't really know what they're gonna do. I don't have huge hopes for that, honestly. Like, as much as I want this game to be fixed. I want it to bounce back from this hurdle. But I just, the way that they so quickly, like, changed things and made it confusing, it made everyone worried about, well, what was the plan? What was the roadmap? When you decided to create this game in the first place, you must have had plans for the next year of updates or something, right? So what was the plan? I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. And, oh, sorry. The thing about the cumulative top-up rewards. I'm gonna be honest, I don't like that. I don't like how they've snuck that in there. I feel like, you know, they were talking about the narrative and they were talking about, okay, we're gonna fix the lore and we're gonna make sure that the game is up to code, like, especially on PlayStation, because I know people have had issues, like, getting into the game on PlayStation, right? But they kind of sneak in there. Oh, we're gonna have tiered cumulative top-up rewards. Okay. The reason that makes me concerned is I feel like I've never played Love Nikki and Shining Nikki. Before this update, I was curious about the games and I wanted to check them out eventually. I don't know if I still want to, right? But anyway, something I know about, I think it's Shining Nikki, is I remember watching, like, a YouTube short about somebody who spent thousands of dollars in the game to get these tiered top-up rewards, right? If that's if that's what these are, you know, cumulative top-up rewards, like, I can't think of what else that could be other than a similar system to what they have in Shiny Nikki, where just, I think like Honkai Impact Third has a similar system too. It's common in older gacha games, I think. You spend however much money in the game and you get rewards for it, you know? And so that's fine on the face of it, but the problem is like how expensive it gets and how, you know, I think something that was an issue for Shiny Nikki was there was like an outfit, and in order to get all the pieces of the outfit, you had to spend like $6,000 or something like that. So I don't know. I feel like it's a bit sneaky of them to sneak in, like, you know, while we're talking about this, like fixing the story and fixing the gameplay, it's a bit sneaky of them to be like, okay, we're also going to have these top-up rewards, like. Okay, because part of the thing that's broken trust with players is the aggressive monetization, you know? Something that, you know, like the dying system, that whole thing is just an aggressive monetization tactic, and it's put off a lot of players. It's made us, like, stressed about it because it's like, why do you need to optimize the game like that? Is the game failing? Is the game failing and you need to make more money? Is that what's going on? That makes people put off by the game and not want to invest their time and money into it because, you know, it's a bad look. And it wasn't like this from the start. I feel like I've played other gacha games that are, you know, consistent with their monetization and how aggressive it is. They're consistent. But Infinity Nikki, it started off really cozy and gentle, and then more and more they've been pushing the players' boundaries for their tolerance of it, right? And I feel like a big issue people had with version 1.5 is that it crossed the line. So for Infold to be like, okay, they haven't really addressed that yet, the dying. I don't know if they will. And for them to sneak in this top-up rewards thing, I don't think it's a good look. Anyway, let me continue. There are also unlisted adjustments under discussion. Some changes require extended development cycles, but we commit to implementing them through phased updates. We will share progress once plans solidify and milestones are reached. In the meantime, we humbly ask for your continued patience and trust. We fully recognize that our current communication efforts may not meet every stylist's expectations. To address this, we are launching a new initiative, Mirrorland Roundtable, to openly address player concerns and collaboratively explore solutions. We sincerely invite all stylists to share your feedback and suggestions through the following dedicated channels. Email, include the keyword table advisor in your subject line and send to our support team. In-game, navigate to PayPal customer service and select table advisor option and submit your detailed feedback. Please rest assured that while these channels are prioritized, we will continue monitoring feedback across all platforms. All collected input, past and present, will be compiled, with key issues receiving direct responses. Your candid feedback, both critical and encouraging, has prompted deep reflection. Drafting this message stirs mixed emotions, guilt over delayed promises, yet gratitude for your unwavering support. As compensation for version 1.5's shortcomings and schedule changes, all stylists will receive 120 diamonds, 1 energy crystal every day from June 5th to June 12th, totaling 960 diamonds and 8 energy crystals. Due to time zone differences, diamond distribution times across servers may vary by up to 1 day. Thank you for standing with us. Together we'll make Infinity Nikki shine brighter than ever. Infinity Nikki development team. Okay, so yeah. I feel like, just like with everything Infinity Nikki does, it got me excited at first. It drew me in. It got me excited. But then there were some little things toward the end that were like, okay. You know? So, like I said, I think extending the patch, good, makes sense. Honestly, if every patch was like a week longer, or like, you know, 2 weeks longer, is so that they could keep, you know, coming out with a polished game. I would be completely fine with that. So I'm fine with that. And yeah, I think it's good that they're extending all the events, they're extending the limited top-up packs, they're extending the battle pass, all of it. That's good. Yeah, they addressed our concerns with the story very vaguely, though. You know, it kind of remains to be seen, like, what they really plan to do to make the story, like, cohesive again and not confusing. We'll see. But then, like I said, while they were talking about the story and while they were talking about bugs, they slip in, oh, we're gonna have these top-up packs. This whole news thing, it didn't say anything about the dying system and how aggressively monetized it is, you know? If you aren't aware, if you haven't engaged with the die system in Infinity Nikki yourself, the new dying system, it has this kind of currency that you use to unlock color palettes. But you have to unlock color palettes for every individual clothing piece in order to, like, unlock dyes. And so it gets really pricey because this currency that you use, you pay for it. I think it was like $8, you can get 60 of the currency. And it costs like maybe like 12 to unlock a single palette, you know? It's rough, and it just seems like they're squeezing the whales in the game for all they've got with this dying system. This news article did not address that at all, and so that makes me worried. I think the way they're giving out compensation here at the end, when they talk about, we're going to give you compensation every day that you log in from June 5th to June 12th. Why do they need to do it like that, you know? Why do they need to do it in a way that gets people playing the game again, gets people logging in again, you know? That's the gacha tactic of the habit forming. Why do they need to do it like that, right? It's not compensation, it's just you giving us another reason to log into the game again. Because, yeah, the game is on life support. Like, I don't like that. I think that's kind of dodgy, especially because the compensation, it's less than what the previous compensation was, you know? There was an apology letter early in the patch about the 11-piece outfits, right? For that one, we got like 20 pulls and we got 1,200 diamonds, which is enough for another temple, right? So this is less diamonds, and you want us to log in every day. Like, you want us to log in every day, and we all know what gachas have dailies. It's to have the habit forming. It's to get us back in. So I don't love that. Okay, well, yeah, interesting. I can't say like I don't want to just doom about the game for no reason. I really don't. I really do want to believe in Infinity Nikki and believe that it's gonna get back to where it should be. So I'm not saying this to just doom on it. I'm not saying this just to be cynical and negative for no reason. I'm just saying this isn't something that I'm jumping for joy over and I'm like, okay, they're gonna fix the game, yay. It's very much, we have to wait and see. You know, we have to wait and see. Though I do appreciate that they are being kind of transparent with us, you know? I do appreciate that they have come out with a newsletter instead of just leaving us in the dark. Like I said, we've been waiting for news. And this whole Mirrorland roundtable thing, maybe that's promising. Maybe I'll send them an email myself. Yeah, okay. Alright, back to Clair Obscur, which is the the game that I'm actually streaming right now. I just I saw this news post on my phone and I had to get my thoughts out. I had to read it on stream. So let's do it. I've just seen on Reddit this person's said, no shame if you're still playing. A lot of us genuinely love this game, but let's be honest, this apology isn't real accountability. It's polished PR meant to claim meant to calm backlash and stall us. They offered 960 diamonds, time-gated crumbs, not even a 10 pull, dodged the real issues, pity changes, predatory dying, and redirected feedback to private channels. It's all about optics, not actual change. But don't be discouraged, that tells us that pressure works. They only responded after the community pushed back. But pressure needs to continue. If we stop now, they'll think we've moved on. You can still play and push for change. Don't let corporate PR silence us. If we want a game that respects us long term, we have to keep going. Don't settle, we deserve better. So this is from u/bird medicine on the Infinity Nikki Discord. I think not Discord, the Reddit. I don't think it's the official Reddit. Interesting. Yeah. I hate to say it, but I do kind of agree. I do kind of agree that it's maybe too little too late. I wanna have hope that they can, you know, fix the game. But I understand why people are angry, you know. I understand why this is not not good enough for some people. Infold's apology, in quotations. Infold, you've not addressed the pity change or the failure of the dying system, not even remotely the same in the overworld regardless of lighting, new expensive currency, the fact that it's unfinished and only on the most expensive outfits. The switch into soiree is still impossible to attend, as it is in the middle of the night, for most people, or during work. This is an okay start. I would argue pretty easily that this conversation isn't even remotely enough. I was expecting a lot more of an apology that took this long. You will have to work much harder to earn our trust back. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Welcome back from the ads. Welcome back from the ads. I was just I didn't want to continue the story in Clair Obscure during the ads, so I was on my phone looking at the Infinity Nikki Reddit to see other people's reaction to the apology. I kind of hate to say I agree with it. I agree that it's a good start, but it's not enough, you know? They want us to trust them. They want to say, "Okay, we've got other things cooking, you know, we're working on other things." But like they admit themselves they broke trust with us. So how is that good enough, you know? Yeah. Look, I don't mean to keep harping on it. I feel like I'm being so negative and like looking for reasons to be upset kind of thing. But I feel like they've come out with this news and it's just before they advertised the 4-star outfits, right? They kind of waited till the last possible moment before the 4-star outfits so they could be like, "Oh, please don't stop playing our game, guys. Look, new dresses you can buy." It's I don't know. I don't know how to feel. I know some people have been boycotting the game. I don't want to do that. I'm not at that point. And when it comes to the outfits, I pulled for both of the 5-star outfits. I pulled for Evolution 3 of the Phoenix outfit because I think they're really gorgeous. And so I'm kind of wondering, like, do I want to buy the 4-star outfits because I like the look of them, you know? Do I want to spend money for them? But I don't know, you know? Like, I don't know how I feel. I feel complicated, I guess. I know in the game, it's like when you spend money, it's so you can get outfits and they're just cosmetics, right? But it's also because you're expecting to play the game for a long time. You want to build up your collection of clothes so that, you know, you'll have all these options to mix and match, right? So I feel like if I spent money, it would be me, like, committing to continuing to play the game, right? I just have complicated feelings about it. It genuinely was like heartbreaking when I first played 1.5 and it let me down the way it did. You know? I feel like they have been working on fixing the bugs and the Serenity Island area. It is a lot better than it was last time I tried to play it. But It's just, it's hard not to let what's going on affect my enjoyment of it, you know? It's hard not to be, I don't know, a downer about it, right? But yeah, at least for now, I'm gonna keep playing the game. I want to see it improve. I want to get my stupid, you know, lackluster compensation. The more I think about that, the more it frustrates me, you know. Oh, if you log in for, what was it, 10 days, we'll give you compensation. Like, or was it 7 days? It was like, and it wasn't even like amazing compensation. It's not enough for a 10 pull. It's, what the hell? It's like, I think something I said before, like, when this update came out, I left a bad review of the game on Steam, and not recommended, because I genuinely didn't think that new players should play the game with how buggy it is. I think they fixed the bugs, so maybe I should change that review, or at least just remove it. I wish there was a neutral review on Steam, you know, because I guess I don't want to warn people away from the game anymore, but I'm not sure if I want to give it a thumbs up right now. Why does it keep making noise? I'm not even... I thought when I was in the menu and it was making noises like that last night, I thought it was because I was, like, you know, multiplayer, other people were doing that, but no, I don't know. Yeah, it's like, up until this point, I've been a dolphin player in this game. And, even at the start of this patch, before I realized the extent of everything going on in this patch, when I first logged in, I did spend money. I bought the battle pass, I bought, you know, a bunch of top-up packs. I wanted this outfit, I got it, you know? I bought everything. Maybe that was a mistake. I don't know. Oh, why does it keep making that noise? It's so annoying. Like, you guys hear it too, right? It's not because I've got something, open that is making the noise, am I? I don't think so. I think it's just, yeah, it's making that sound effect. I don't know what the cause is. And I don't know if I should, like, what, relaunch the game? This noise! Ugh! She's going crazy. What? You can't hear it? You can't hear it? Oh, maybe I am going crazy. It just did it again. Why? It's way too loud and high-pitched. Maybe it's game bug. Yeah, I feel like it's not meant to make this awful noise every time. Is it every time I go into the wardrobe or what? I don't like it. Well, yeah, this is the Infinity Nikki 1.5 experience, you know? Maybe next patch they will fix it. Maybe they'll make good on their, you know, vague promises, and they will fix it, and we'll be able to look back at videos like this and be like, haha, remember when the game was broken? That'd be nice. That'd be nice if this was all just a funny memory. Oh, it's like every time I go into any kind of menu, it makes the noise. Inford, what did you do? Glad I never put money in. Yeah, I wish that was me. I spent like over $200 on this game, 200 Australian dollars. You know? I learned from Genshin. See, that's the thing, is, I feel like there was a time where Genshin Impact was my favorite game, and I've kind of fallen out of love with it. It's not my favorite game anymore. But I feel like so often other gacha games flop, and it actually makes me appreciate Genshin more. You know, for all its faults. And it's frustrating. It's frustrating because there's actually so much wrong with Genshin that I want these other games to be like, okay, well, obviously that's something cringe about Genshin. We're gonna do better. That's what I want. But instead, I end up appreciating Genshin because Genshin can come out with consistent functioning updates that don't break the game, you know? Once in a blue moon, we'll get something like the Kave bug, right? But that's like a rare thing and they fix it pretty quickly. And the monetization. For Genshin's faults with monetization, it's not in your face with the monetization, and it's pretty consistent. It's pretty consistent with the lack of rewards, you know? And maybe the consistency is better than, you know, what Infinity Nikki is doing, which is they start off and make you think, oh, this is going to be a cozy, free-to-play experience. You're only pulling for cosmetics, so don't even worry about it. But then every update, they've been like, please, please give us money, please. And it's like, this doesn't look good. It's funny they get so much money and they can't give you updates that don't break your game. Exactly, because they're not making like a little bit of money. They're not like a struggling, poor indie studio. They're making so much money from this game. It's pathetic that they can't deliver a functioning product. And the story, like, you know, I went into Infinity Nikki version 1.0 thinking, wow, this is fantastic. And the end of 1.0, it has data tease, oh, we're going to get new regions, and they're even bigger than Wishfield, right? So that made me think, oh, this game's going to be like Genshin Impact, where every year or 6 months or whatever, you know, based on that Rolling Stones article, right? Or maybe every year we're going to get a new region and it's going to be like, you know, constantly updating and, you know, the same way Genshin is. That's what I thought. But instead, we've just been getting these little filler updates that don't really add too much to the story, you know, and it's like, it feels like it wasn't the game that I fell in love with, right? So, like I said, that's another thing I can appreciate about Genshin, for better or for worse. They do come out with new regions and new story constantly, right? Maybe you can argue that the story is dragged out. Maybe you can argue that the Natlan, you know, the exploration, it being locked, you know, certain quality of life things locked behind characters is no good. I'm not going to argue against any of that. But, you know, it just frustrates me that, you know, Genshin Impact came out years ago and we haven't got a game that's actually better, you know? We haven't got a game that's actually so much better, you know? Yeah, the direction isn't there with this game. I think there were signs of that early on. Yeah, like, I think I've been coping with this game. I think I've been like, oh, you know, oh, we've got all these filler patches, but maybe that's just how the game is. Maybe that, you know, since we get updates so frequently, maybe they're going to be filler, and then every year or so we'll get like a big region, and that'll be, you know, as good as it was in 1.0. But I think no, I think it's, you know, like a rug pull kind of thing where they kind of bait you in with version 1.0. They make you play like multiple days in order to finish the main story, so you're playing the game and you're forming a habit, and then they pull the rug from under you and they go, all right, so now we're gonna have these fillery updates where you don't really do much, but you can give us money for outfits, right? Yeah, they want you to log in every day, and that's what's stupid about this compensation. It's like, it's not compensation, it's just another, you know, way to get us logging in every day. What's up with that? Like, that's fucked. That's fucked. You know? They really waited till the last minute to give us news after all the complaints people have had. It's for them to show numbers to the higher ups. Exactly. Like, I'm gonna be logging in to get my stupid compensation. Like, fuck it. I'm not boycotting the game, so fuck it. I'll be logging in to get it. And maybe it'll show the higher ups, oh, people are playing the game, don't worry. But I don't know. I don't think it's good. Oh, that noise is so grating. But it's real. It exemplifies my feelings, doesn't it? It's so funny. A friend of mine took interest in the game, and the one dress she liked doesn't exist anymore. Oh, what's that? What do you mean it doesn't exist anymore? The Threads of Reunion? Oh, yeah. I don't. They basically said in the is it an apology? Not really. You know, in the oh, I don't have it up anymore. They basically said in that post, yeah, that whole thing, it was because we weren't ready to ship out the friggin' Star Seas like storyline. It wasn't ready, and that's why it was confusing. You know, pathetic. I don't know. I don't like saying these things about Infinity Nikki because this game had me so excited. There's so much I want to love about it, you know? I was genuinely heartbroken. It wasn't like clickbait or hyperbole when I was making my YouTube video. I was heartbroken. And you know, it's like they keep getting my hopes up and then let me down again, and I don't know. I think some people are too ridiculous with it though. I've seen people in my comments talk about how, oh, what do you expect from a gacha game? They go, oh, gacha games are like abusive lovers, and it's like, no, they're not. Come on, don't, like, be serious. It's a game. It's a game. Don't be like victim blaming people for, you know, don't make it into a fucking whole thing about abuse and like saying, oh, like gacha players have Stockholm syndrome. Don't be fucking weird. It's a game, it's a predatory game. Exactly. We can criticize that. We can definitely criticize that. And like I said, I do feel emotional about how disappointed I am, but it's not abuse, and it's not like, you know, like don't go too far with the comparisons there. That's weird. But yeah, that's genuinely how I feel about Genshin Impact. Is like, I am so frustrated that, you know, after years of playing Genshin, and loving Genshin, and then, you know, finally eventually getting burnt out on Genshin, I'm frustrated that something better hasn't come along, like when it comes to gacha games, because something like Infinity Nikki will come out and it does something new and different and I love it, but then it ends up like this. And then Wuthering Waves, I feel like so many people like hype up Wuthering Waves as so much better than Genshin. I still have people come into my chat when I talk about Genshin and they're like, oh, Wuthering Waves is better. I don't see it. I like Wuthering Waves a lot, but I still think Genshin's better, you know? This was better until now. Yeah, that's kind of how I felt. That's kind of how I felt, is that, like, yeah, this game, it was scratching the same kind of itch, but it was doing, you know, it being a female focused game, it having the dress up stuff, it was so good. It was what we were wanting, but instead it was like they made it look like a Genshin, but it's not a Genshin, and I feel like that's actually happened a couple times before. I feel like there have been gacha games that come out and they look like a Genshin. They make you think, oh, we're gonna have a similar update schedule to Genshin, our battle pass is similar, the top-up packs are the same amounts. It's all to make you think, oh, this is like Genshin, you know? Infinity Nikki, for example. If you go into the store, and you can look at the top-up packs, the Stellarite packs. These numbers and the prices, they're the same as Genshin. I feel like that's strategic, so that you look at this and you go, oh, it costs the same amount to buy the same amount of Stellarites as you would to buy Genesis crystals in Genshin, but on the banner, it's 120 for a pull instead of 160, that means Infinity Nikki is a better deal than Genshin. I feel like it's all to you know, draw in people who are familiar with Genshin. And I don't think that's a bad thing or anything. It's just that that's what all these games are doing. Something Genshin Impact did that, you know, I still appreciate about it is that it took risks. It did something different. And it really paid off. This game, I thought was doing something similar. It was like, okay, we're an open world gacha game, so we are drawing in the players who are familiar with Genshin and enjoy that kind of game. But we're doing things a bit different. We're going to be more focused on dressing up. We're going to have this strong female protagonist, and you know, the gacha is going to be just cosmetics, and we're going to be it's going to be about coziness. It's going to be about platforming instead of combat. That's cool. I was excited about that. Now I don't know what to think. It's a mind game and I ain't playing. Like, all the respect to you for that, but like, for me, I get so frustrated with like, cause yeah, if you don't already know, I made a video about my problems with the Infinity Nikki update. Mainly I was talking about the story. And a comment I get quite frequently is, well, what do you expect from a gacha game? Or even people going a step further than that and saying like, oh, well, gacha game players, you know, we're bad for like supporting these predatory systems. It's wrong to spend money on these games. You know, stuff like that. Stuff like that. I don't like that. I don't like the idea that we can't we can't expect more from these multi-billion-dollar companies. Oh, because they're a gacha game. Because it's a gacha game, so we should know that they're just gambling, they're just trash, you know? Fuck that. Yeah, like, I don't know how to say it nicer. Like, I want to respect other people's opinions, and so I don't respond to these comments. But my honest, like, opinion is, F that. Like, oh, where am I delivering these to? There you go. I helped. Yay. There is definitely a lot wrong with the gacha genre. I'm not denying that at all. It is predatory. A lot of the systems are, like you said, mind games. They're psychological tactics in order to get people to keep logging in every day, the habit forming, spending money. But I like these games for a lot of good reasons. I'm not just here to, you know, fuel my addiction and like spend money, like to gamble. Like I live near the, you know, I live near restaurants that have got pokies. I can go do that if that's all I'm there for. Probably get more out of it than I would these games. You know, if I won. But no, it's like there's so much to like about these games, and there's so many good games coming soon, or at least they look good, and I want them to do well. I want Genshin Impact to have competition so that it wants to do better. You know, if people stop playing Genshin Impact and they play these other games, then Genshin Impact might look at that and be like, oh, well, maybe we should do stuff like have better anniversary rewards. But so many companies are just content with doing the bare minimum, you know? I'm here to look pretty and stunt on the NPC who wants to do style battles. Exactly. And there's so many free outfits in these games, Infinity Nikki, that, you know, when you buy outfits, it feels like you're supplementing your wardrobe rather than, you know, it being the only way to have cool outfits. And I like that, but it's just, I don't know. I push back up against the idea that we can't, you know, we can't criticize gacha games because they're gacha games. That's stupid. You know, I have people look down on me for playing gacha games a lot. But it's like, you know, what games do you play then? Every video game company these days is pretty shit. Like, you know? There are a lot of indies that are alright, but there are plenty indies that are shit too. So it's like, you know, show me your Steam library. Unless you only play Stardew Valley and Undertale, then don't be criticizing me. Like, a lot of games right now just aren't it, because games cost a lot of money, and so a lot of these companies are just doing what's safe, you know, so they can get their investment back. They're not doing what's artistic, right? I started this stream by playing Clair Obscur Expedition 33. That's what we want from games. Games that take risks, they take chances on, you know, new artists and make something fantastic out of it. Hell yes! But, you know, and I think the gacha genre is one that could use some innovation too. You know? It's not something that we can just be like, oh well, it's a gacha game. I've heard good things about that one. It's fantastic. I love it. I love it. It's you know, it's a mature game, so if you're here for Infinity Nikki, you might... Where's Momo here? What? Why does he look like he's looking for something? Are you alright, Momo? Oh! It's your Momo! Okay. Hi, Comet. I see you didn't join the girl cut. The boycott us, I got girl cut. Yeah, No. I have frustrations with Infinity Nikki, but for now, I don't think I want to stop playing because I want it to, you know, hopefully recover from the problems, right?